Are you ready for some fall DIYs? In today's video, I have all new fall Dollar Tree DIYs. And I want to thank Cricut for sponsoring today's video. For this DIY, you're going to need a glass vase and a wicker basket. Let's turn these two items into a decorative acorn. You're gonna start by spraying the decorative vase with a spray paint called Sea Glass. I like to use the terracotta colors. Do a coat on the underside and a coat on the top. The reason I like this spray paint is it's a little bit opaque, so you can still see through your glass. Next, you're gonna add hot glue to the top of your vase and attach it to your wicker basket. The wicker basket is going to act as the top portion of your acorn. For my stem, I'm gonna use a branch I had from outside, and I'm just going to use some of my pruning shears to cut off a piece and then attach it to your basket with hot glue. I also like to add moss around the outer edge with some additional hot glue. I think it helps to make it look a little bit more realistic. And here's how it turned out. Now this next project I was really excited to make. It's hard for me to believe, but my daughter is in her last year of middle school. So as her mom, I want to try to make it as special as possible. And she loves playing volleyball. So I was really wanting to create something that she could put on her locker to celebrate the volleyball season. Have you guys seen these felt pennant banners? I feel like they're starting to get really popular, and I came across this design by a creator called Emily Counts. She had created a felt pennant banner in the Cricut design space, and I was able to customize it for my daughter, and that's one of my favorite things about the Cricut design space. They have so many projects available that really you can make anything. So I started with Emily's design, and I made it a bit smaller because I wanted to be able to cut my felt on a 12 by 12 mat. After I made the pennant smaller, I just had to add in Annabelle's name. I did have to make the text a little bit smaller just because her name is quite a bit longer. If you have a shorter name, you could definitely make it a lot bigger as well. So I got this felt pack from Cricut, and this was my first time cutting felt, so I was a little nervous, but it ended up working out so well. I'm gonna be making my design with red and white felt, and this was my first time cutting felt, so I did add a little bit of painter's tape around the edge of the felt on my mat just to make sure that it held securely in place. I don't really think you need to do that, but I just wanted to make sure it held securely in place while I was cutting. So I first cut out my banner in red, and then all you have to do is just pull it up off of your mat and it comes right up. Then I cut out my name and the back piece in white. I weeded these items and placed them onto my banner. Once I had her name on there, I thought it would be fun to add a volleyball, so I found a volleyball template and cut that out on some white felt. Once I was done cutting the volleyball, I added that to my pennant as well. To attach the felt, I used one of my favorite glues, which was E6000. Now with the end piece, I did add a little bit of extra E6000 to the back just to make sure that it holds securely in place. Now, since I know she's going to want to take this to school and put it on her locker, I added 3 magnets on the back just by hot gluing them on. This banner turned out adorable, and I love that you can customize it to be whatever color you'd like or for whatever team you would like. I will link to the original creator's design down in the description box, and I'll also link to my Cricut Explore 3. It does a great job of cutting out all your designs. I have to tell you, this next project was the one that I was most worried about whether or not it was going to work out or not. It's probably my favorite project in this entire video. I wanted to create some ghost candles. So I'm actually going to be doing 2 DIYs. I'm going to be doing a DIY with the candles and the candle holders. So let's start first with the candle holders. If you've recently been on Pottery Barn's website, you may notice that they have a ton of Halloween decor out. And one of the items that caught my eye was this candelabra that they had. And I thought, let's try to recreate this with Dollar Tree items. So I picked up 3 of the Dollar Tree candlesticks at my store. I love how spooky this candelabra looked, so let's try to recreate this. So first you're going to need some clay. I'm going to be using the Crayola clay. You're going to pull off a chunk of it, and you're just going to start by wrapping it around your candlestick. Next, from here, you want to try to work it into your candle. I'm trying to create a look that almost looks like a tree trunk or tree branches. So I was pushing it down to the bottom. I was also pushing it up to the top. And then after I did that, I started to create branches just by pinching along the edges. Now, I was kind of doing trial and error here and, taking a step back, looking at them, seeing how they looked. Once I was happy with it, I repeated those steps on the other 2 candlesticks. Let this dry for a few days if you can. For some reason, the Crayola clay takes a ton of time to dry. And then once it's dry, you can spray paint it with a matte black spray paint. I have to tell you, these turned out better than I thought they were going to. Now let's work on the candles. This is a project for somebody who is not impatient, because if you're impatient like me, you're going to run into the fact that your candles are going to break. So I'm going to try to give you my tips to do this so you can do it better than I did. What you're going to need is a container that you can fill up with water that you don't mind getting a little bit of candle wax in. So you want to put hot water into your container. Next, you're going to add in some candles. These candles are from Hobby Lobby, and buy a few extra because you're probably going to break 1 or 2. So I put 5 candles in my pan, knowing that I was only going to need 3. Your water has to be hot enough so that your candles don't melt, but they get pliable, if that makes sense. You want to leave these in the water for at least 20 minutes. Once they're ready, you'll know because you'll be able to move them really easily. So I did end up breaking 2 because I was really impatient. So once I was down to just 3, I knew I had to be really careful with these because I needed 3 for this project. I moved them to the side to create a fun ghost shape. There's no right way to do this. Just move it around till you're happy with the way it looks. Just bend it back and forth. Once you like the shape, take it out of the water and just set it on the paper towel to dry. Once it's dry, use a Sharpie to create a fun little ghost shape on the top of the candles. Then you can add these to your candlesticks. I think they turned out so cute. If you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. Comment the word of the day, which is DIY. When I'm shopping at Dollar Tree and I come across new items, I'm always thinking, okay, how could I use this in my decor, in a DIY? So when I saw these 2 half pieces of acorns, I thought we could use these. So I bought 2 of these fall pieces. I cut off all the extra string, and my thought was, let's make a picture frame holder that we could set out for the fall. My first thought was they were going to have to be connected at the bottom but open a little bit at the top. So I put a half popsicle stick and hot glued it on one of the insides of my acorn. Then on half of the acorns, I put hot glue at the bottom, and then I stuck them together, making sure they lined up really well. Now you can see on the other side, there was a tiny little bit of an opening. That's perfect. That's where I'm going to end up putting my picture in. So when I placed these on my table, they kind of rolled around. So I knew that I needed something to kind of hold them stationary. So I tried a few different options. I ended up using one of these little 1-inch cubes that they sell at Dollar Tree in a larger pack, and I just hot glued that to the back and it kind of propped up my acorns. And I think these look adorable. I didn't paint them, I love the colors of them, but you could create these and add in your fall prints. I love a wood wreath for fall. This one I found at Hobby Lobby. It ended up being the cheapest place to pick it up. I wanted to show you how you could create a fall wreath, and one of the major items I wanted to add to it are these mushrooms that they're selling right now at Dollar Tree, because I think a lot of people are struggling with, okay, how do I use these in my decor? This is not going to be your typical traditional fall wreath. So I started by using some of their regular greenery that they have. I actually used these in a wreath over the summer. I'm reusing them for my fall wreath. So I'm going to hot glue them directly to my wood wreath. And I'll do 3 going one way and 3 going the other way. I also wanted to add in some green moss at the base. I felt like that would really fit in with that mushroom theme. So I added a little bit of hot glue and put some moss at the bottom. Next, I wanted to add 3 of my mushrooms. So I put hot glue on the back and added the mushrooms. I did at this point think that I needed to hang this up to make sure that I was really getting a true look of what this would look like on the wall. So I continued to add in more mushrooms. Next, I had these acorn pieces that I had bought at Dollar Tree. So I took those off the stems and hot glued those to my wreath. From here, I kind of take a look at it, see what it needs. There were these cute little pampas grass pieces that I had picked up. So I cut those off and added those into my arrangement. And that's pretty much all I did. I think it turned out gorgeous. I absolutely love it. Now, speaking of pampas grass, this is an item that I think might be a little bit tricky to find, but if you can find it, they have some really great varieties. So I found a bunch of the neutrals in the pampas grass, and I just wanted to style these. So I had a thrifted vase that I had picked up. So I cut my pampas grass down because it was a little bit long for this vase, and I'm just going to add it into my arrangement. And I think it looks gorgeous and perfect for the fall. Sometimes when I go on Dollar Tree shopping trips, I will get these ideas based on items I see, and they're kind of outrageous ideas, but I'm like, okay, I see it in my head. I know I can make it happen. So we found these ghosts that you're supposed to, I think, maybe hang up outside. I pictured these Pottery Barn ghosts that I've been seeing all over their website, and I said, I think I could recreate those using these ghosts. So let me show you how I put these together. Really, it was stuff I found around my house to make these ghosts. So the 2 main things you're gonna need are 2 of these ghosts in the $1.25 section. And then you're also going to need this light up globe that they have in the Dollar Tree Plus section. These are $5, a little pricey. You don't have to use these, but I think they look really cool at night. So I wanted to create 2 ghosts. So I started by using those buckets that they've been selling at Dollar Tree. I put those down first. And then I'm going to set my globe on top. I'm not gonna hot glue it because I wanna be able to turn it on and off. I did create 2 of these, and on the second one, I made that one a little bit higher just so that they had a little bit of difference in the height. Next, I added a white sheet that I bought from Walmart, just a really inexpensive flat sheet. And the reason I did that was because this ghost was a little bit see-through, and I knew you'd be able to see everything underneath if I didn't add this. So I added this sheet on, and I roughly cut around the base. This doesn't have to look cute. This is a ghost. You want it to be all jagged and not looking perfect. Then I cut off all the components that are underneath my ghost, cut off any tags, and placed that on the top. It was looking pretty good at this point. So I did the exact same thing with my other ghosts. I just added in that wood block to make it a little bit taller on the second one. Now, one of the ghosts, I wanted to add a witch's hat. So I found this witch's hat in the Dollar Tree, kind of like craft aisles. So I cut off the pick portion. Now I was thinking with that piece that I cut off, what if I created a broom? I had this Dollar Tree broom and I just cut off some of the bristles. Next, I took a rubber band and wrapped it around the bristles. I took that leftover pick that I had cut off and placed that into my bristles. And then I started to just kind of fan out the bristles. And then to cover the rubber band, I wrapped those with some black twine that I had, hot glued that in place. And then I trimmed the base of the bristles up a little bit so it looked like a broom. And with the hat, I just hot glued that to the top of the ghost. And that is the completed look. I'm gonna show you what these ghosts look like lit up at night. Have you guys seen this adorable pair out at Dollar Tree? I definitely think it's a great item to add into your decor. I wanted to try to recreate this look right here. So to do that, I found a wire pumpkin in the plus section. And then I also found these other pumpkins that had a mesh around them. So I started by cutting the mesh off of those pumpkins. And then I sprayed everything with a gold spray paint. Now, while I was doing that, some of the wire pieces had kind of come off, so I just hot glued those back in place. I wanted to wrap the stems, so I just used some yarn from my craft room in fall colors, and I hot glued that down, wrapped it around, and hot glued it in place. I did this for the 2 small pumpkin stems. I also added a leaf from a eucalyptus floral I had in my craft room. To finish it off, I'm gonna add in some tea lights to style. The last time I was shopping at Dollar Tree, I came across the coolest vases. These are awesome. You guys, I hope you can find them at your store. There's a bunch of plastic containers and they also have some glass ones. So I bought them all because I wanted to show you a way that you could totally repurpose these and use them in your decor. So I got a variety of vases and I'm going to spray paint them with a hammer spray paint. This is kind of a round hammered finish, and I did both sides of all the vases. Once they were all spray painted, I styled them in a grouping. One item I thought was worth picking up is this Hello Fall sign that I found in the Dollar Tree Plus section. It's $3 and really cute. I was really excited about all the new dinnerware they have this fall out at Dollar Tree. I picked up a black dinnerware plate and a black and white bowl. I'm gonna start by putting E6000 on the bottom of the bowl and I'll place the larger plate on top. I'll let this dry and this is perfect to put out with any of your holiday treats. Let me know down in the comments which of these DIYs was your favorite. I love knowing your opinion. And if you're looking for any of the Cricut products I used in today's video, I will have those linked for you down in the description box. Make sure you subscribe because I want to see you back here, and I'll see you in our next one. Bye.